God bless everybody today. It is May 22nd of 2024, and this is a report on Turkey. Turkey's getting ready to do a mobilization into Iraq and Syria, and Erdoğan is in the process of doing a power grab so that he has complete control over this mobilization. And that's exactly what's happened today. This is an unprecedented move for Erdoğan to assume authority to declare mobilization, because this usually is done by the ministerial cabinet, and now he has basically seized power to start his campaign down into Syria and Iraq. And so this has just happened today. This is huge news, because this will give him the ability to do exactly what he wants to do, as his economy and lira are basically collapsing and his approval ratings are falling. So just wanted to bring this information to you. This happened today. I believe, as I've said for a while, that he'll start his invasion sometime in May, early June at the latest, because he wants to do this mobilization and stabilization of Iraq and Syria approximately by the end of summer. He just got that zone of 200 by 25 mile zone in Iraq. So if you go to my Facebook page, you go to James Boldemeyer or End of Day Survival. A lot of times I post these real time articles out here so you guys can see them. I had indicated and done a video that he had secured, and this is extremely important because this will give him unfeathered approach into Iraq. Syria is a different matter because he doesn't get along with Assad over there, but this will give him a 300 kilometer by 40 kilometer, approximately 200 or so by 25 mile area that he'll be able to control. And so he's just set this up recently, and now with this control of the cabinet ministry to allow him to consolidate power and mobilize the army, military into these areas with complete control by Erdoğan is a huge event that's happened just in the last day or so. Now, this has not occurred since like 1990, because that's what I mean. This is unprecedented. Since 1990, the minister of the cabinet, or the ministerial cabinet, has the ability. Oh, shit. This is an extremely unprecedented move, because this mobilization and state of war regulation replaced by previous regulation, which had been placed in since 1990. So this is something that's been a standing law thing that they've been following for 33 years, and now he comes in and then adjusts it so that he has basic control over the defense of this country. And if you go into the news, he's threatening Israel right now with a couple things. Again, he's threatening Israel with potential genocide let's say that differently. So Erdogan's been all over Netanyahu about his genocidal policies, which he states that are going on in Gaza, down around Rafah, and all these different areas. Israel is trying to do their best in high population to eliminate the threats and get their hostages back. Hamas could just release the hostages and change this dynamic overnight, but they won't do that. And so Erdogan is doing everything possible to eliminate and get ready to go down into Syria and Iraq. Now, there's a number of articles here on his consolidation of power, to the point where he's even possibly talking about changing the Constitution. Okay, so look, he's building the new Ottoman Empire, and he's getting ready to go into the Middle East with the new Ottoman Empire against Israel and the Christians and Jews, with a new caliphate, or whatever they want to call it, against the Gentiles and Jews. So you need to understand what's getting ready to come up here. This is going to happen anytime, probably before the end of the month, first part of June at the latest. And he's been in there for over 20 years, and he's not the most liked president at this point, as his approval rating is falling below 40% because the lira is collapsing. His inflation is approximately around 70% last month. And I'm not sure most people here in the United States can wrap their head around exactly what 70% inflation would be. It would be insane. You can't imagine what your fuel prices and things would be. You think it's tough trying to fight off potentially, let's say, 7% inflation, which they're telling, they're not telling you the proper information out here on inflation anyway. And every time you go to the grocery store, fill up your tank or whatever, you can tell that inflation is much higher than they're telling you. But to have 70% inflation, this has been going on for some time. This is not an overnight sensation for Turkey, and so Turkey's in a really tough situation. Erdogan's just been reelected, and so he's got another term to work through here, and so he's going to go to war, because that's how you repair economies when they start to collapse. Another problem that Turkey has is they have no growth in their birth rate, and so this is always a way. Japan's having the same issue. They have no growth, they have no population expansion, and so because of that, their GDP is failing, their economy is overburdened with debt, and so a lot of these economies are basically exponentially just failing. And so this is where we're going to end up soon, as we basically spend ourselves into a hole and we hyperinflate ourselves as everybody starts liquidating our bonds and sending them back home because they don't want dollars anymore, because their economies are collapsing due to the strength of the dollar against the other currencies out here. So what would happen? The government starts selling up bonds, those bonds come home, they hyperinflate us, and then we end up in a worse condition than we already are. And Erdogan has stated his first and top priority is to stop the bloodshed of Israel against the Palestinians in Gaza. And I talked about this timeline in my chart that says that he will be in entire Lebanon by July, end of July, and into Gaza, helping the Palestinians, trying to take this area over, trying to do total control of this whole block of area, and he will control the whole Middle East by the end of the year. But he's going to come down into Gaza by October, as Alexander the Great had happened. And look, he's stating this in his own format, that he's going to go down and deal with this problem. We have been exerting intensive efforts to stop the bloodshed in Gaza and prevent Israel's attacks. Turkey is the top provider of humanitarian aid to Gaza, dispatching nearly 54,000 tons of aid. And so he's extremely concerned about these Palestinians and how he's going to help his Muslim brothers, okay? And once we get into this war and Turkey starts to compress this area and create a major refugee issue, even more so than we have, it's going to compress this area down towards the south, toward Israel, and cause all kinds of problems. Then you're going to watch a breakout of Hezbollah on top of this as we move forward, because they're going to be an ally to Turkey, as well as Hamas will be. And Iran's going to get left in the dust here before this one's over, because, like I say, these are Muslims, not Persians, okay? These people in Palestine and Lebanon and these areas, Golan Heights and all these areas, are mostly Muslims, and they're going to follow the Muslim Brotherhood and those groups of people, and they're not going to follow the Persians before long, but they were using them to basically hit Israel with weapons and things like that because it was to their advantage at the time. But that is getting ready to change here, and Erdogan is getting ready to come in and deal with this, because he is concerned about these 35,000 Palestinian brothers and sisters, mostly women and civilians, that have been martyred, and 80,000 wounded. Look at how he states that. This is extremely important. This is getting ready to break out. I've been talking about May for a while and how this man is getting ready to change this dynamic and how he is the white horseman of revelation, and he's going to bring a quarter of the world into war. God bless everybody. Get your oil in your lamp. This one's getting ready to start up, and you need to get ready.